Hello and welcome back to another video. In this tutorial we're going to look at a function called switch. So switch is really useful, so it can kind of replace VLOOKUP in some respects, but switch allows us to input a result, so like the score we have here in C, column C, and then we can return a result based on what that score is. And by result, if you look in columns G and H, you can see we've got a little table. So we've got a score of 1, 2 and 3, and in the result we've then got a bad, good and excellent result what corresponds with each of those scores, so 1 being bad and 3 being excellent. So the switch will allow us to, rather than use a VLOOKUP to reference that table in G and H, we can actually just put all this together in one formula and also have the ability to do error handling within that formula as well. So rather than more explanation, let's just jump straight into the function itself. So what we're going to do is pop it into column D, into these yellow cells that you can see here, and we'll return the result that you see in column H for each of these scores, but obviously the result will go into column D. So to use the switch function, all we do is do equals and enter the word switch, and then open up brackets, and you can see the prompt that we get on the screen there. So the first thing we have to do is populate what is the expression. So the expression is simply just the cell reference for our example here to what has the score. So what's the value we want to feed into this function. So for us, that's C4. Once you've done that, just enter a comma, and then we can now populate the results. So the first part we have here is we need to put in, obviously, what value are we looking for, and then what result do we want to return for that value. So we'll just do it in order, so 1, 2 and 3. So the first part we do is the 1, so this is the result that we'll get. And once we've done that, we do a comma, and this is where we now put in the result, what we want to return for the value of 1. So just do that in quotations, and we can see from our table that 1 would be bad. So let's just type that into there, and obviously the quotations because it's text that we're returning. Once we've done that, we can then move on to the value number 2. So for us, it's going to be the number 2, another comma, and then this time we're going to enter the word good, quotations, another comma, this time we've got the last value, which is 3, and we're going to put the word excellent, quotations, and then the last thing we're going to do is just enter sort of like a catch-all for any errors. So for us, we've got 1, 2 and 3 populated, but if for instance there's a score that we haven't captured or another message, then obviously what's going to happen is it will return this result we're now going to put in. So all you need to do is in quotations, we're just going to do a double question mark just to question what that score is because we haven't got an answer for it. So once we've done that, we can do close brackets, and this is the formula in its entirety that you can see there. So we've got the reference, so this value we're going to feed into it. Obviously the first value is 1, and then obviously the result to return for that, and then so on and so forth for that function. Once you've done that, just hit enter, and you can see that we've got result in that first option. So correctly we can see that John had the score of 2, and 2 in our little table is corresponding to good, so that obviously has worked really well. If we just copy this down, we can see how that populates for all the other options we have there. So we've also got a 1 here for Claire was bad, so obviously that was a bad result recorded there. But for everything else, it's populated and just is a really good way of doing this without having to go in to do a VLOOKUP. And in essence, we don't even need this table altogether, so we can just delete this, and that does not affect our data. So again, really good formula to use if you're a bit sort of limited on space and you don't want to have extra tables to do VLOOKUPs. So this has populated everything perfectly. But just in the example, if we change Amy, so let's put a score of 4. So obviously that's not a score we've accounted for because we're only done 1 to 3. So if we enter that number 4, you can see this is where it's now going to pick up our question marks because it's a value or a score that we haven't accounted for within the function. So again, there's got the little error handling in there because if we were using a VLOOKUP, that is something that we had had to also determine by using a if error or something function as well. Else it would have just returned the error for us. So we hope you enjoyed that quick and short video looking at this switch function. If you did, please do give the video a like. It'd be greatly appreciated and really does help us out. And lastly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you're notified of all of our future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.